real quickly before we jump into the video, if you guys are interested in G Fuel at all, if you go over to gfuel.com right now and apply code ESPRESSO at checkout, it gives you 30% off for the next few days rather than just the standard 10%. So if you're looking to take advantage of a deal, now's a better time than ever. Let's head back to the regularly scheduled content. Last week we got a title update for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 version 1.08. 14 gigabytes on PlayStation 4, 22 gigabytes on Xbox One, and I'm not entirely sure the file size on PC. But you probably already know that because if you've watched any of the videos here in the last week, it's been a mystery that we've brought up a few times as to what was actually included, because that was a massive download, and in what we saw with the patch notes and what was detailed there, it had almost nothing of substance, nothing that would take up a dozen to nearly 24 gigabytes in file size. And it got even weirder that when we had in those patch notes the confirmation that we'd see an even bigger update coming later this next week, or in the case of right now, a few days on Monday, which, as we know right now, will cover a lot of content dealt with Operation Absolute Zero, the new specialist, the zombies changes and the blackout changes, both in terms of gameplay mechanics, and also the map itself will change, and a lot more, but it might actually not be the only thing in there. So that patch before is something that we speculated on, and we actually ended up seeing some things come out of that patch in particular, 1.08, what was a brand new zombies map from some glitched out images of what people saw, either brand new characters, or even some that even had the new map listed in their map selection menus. So by all indications, that was something that seemingly was going to be coming through that, and it made sense because the only way those items were visible were if they were in the game files right then. And additionally, it matched up with a leak that we had a while back talking about the map and the characters themselves, and some more details about the first zombies offering. So while it had never been officially stated and still to this day hasn't been, that makes logical sense that that map was hidden away beneath the surface, and it's possible that it could come as of Tuesday in the next content drop. And it also would explain the secrecy and file size not matching up with the content detailed in patch notes. I mean, you're not really just gonna throw that out there like, hey, you know, there's actually another map in there that you guys can't see just yet, but we'll see that later. That's not something that would happen. But what's weirder is that today the story actually goes a little bit deeper, and we may see more stuff coming on the horizon, and maybe as soon as Tuesday. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So Tuesday, make sure you play some Call of Duty Black Ops 4. But as for what may have actually been included with that last title update, may have actually been some multiplayer maps. Because as of today, if you were checking over on Reddit, or maybe even saw it on your own, there was a little bit of a mistake that happened in the COD Companion app, the one that launched with Black Ops 4 that gives you all sorts of cool stats, different dynamics of how you play, heat maps of your past matches, and all things considered. But on that, if you went over and checked out some of the heat maps for the maps that are available in Black Ops 4 right now, if you scroll down, you'd actually see two that did not have an image associated with them, but had a gray background and also were labeled Elevation and Madagascar. And you're not seeing things that actually happened, and it was something that we haven't seen in-game before. Those seemingly are console code names, or even the full-on names for maps that are yet to be released. Now here's the thing, if you didn't quite catch it on your COD Companion app, don't worry, you're probably a part of the 99% that did not catch it. I myself didn't, as you can see by the B-roll footage of me scrolling through my app on screen, but it was there and confirmed by multiple different sources that ended up seeing this, and it was then subsequently removed, or updated rather, with that listing for the app. So this now makes it 3 maps that we've seen thus far, or some semblance of maps, some more so than others. Obviously the zombies map actually being in-game and something that has already shown up, but what's to say the others aren't actually in the game files as well? Because again, 14 to 22 gigabytes is quite a hefty amount for just some simple patches or some simple bug fixes that were detailed in that same title update patch notes. So to me, this might make me think that we are now gearing up towards something a lot bigger, something that even adds more flair on top of Tuesday's festivities and what we'll see with Operation Absolute Zero coming up on Tuesday for PlayStation 4. Because if I were to guess, this now makes up that DLC 1 in a sense, air quotes around that, because it's not actually a full-blown and full-fledged map pack with 4 maps and a zombies map like we've seen for the past decade, but we have not yet to see any Black Ops Pass content, and that's something that I know you guys have let me know about in the comments down below, and you've asked before if any of these maps we've gotten or any of these content that we've seen so far are gonna take away from that. But we haven't seen anything that says that will happen, that things in Operation Absolute Zero will take away from that, but we have seen these maps that have been a little more hush-hush that may actually add into that. But that said, with the Black Ops Pass, we're promised 12 maps and 4 zombies maps, plus blackout characters, to which we haven't seen any of those added in just yet, and we're already almost 2 months into the life cycle of Black Ops 4, which to me is kind of crazy. It's gone by that fast. So while we are kind of past that idea in theory that initially when the Black Ops Pass came out and was announced, we thought it would be 1 map per every month we'd end up seeing. But that is something that now being 2 months in, we haven't seen that happen, and we also have had free content given. So potentially now it shifts to 2 maps dropping every other month, with a zombies map being every other Black Ops Pass content drop as well, because those are a little more intermittent. We don't have as many of those guaranteed. But that way we'll end up continue seeing not only the most updated and frequently adjusted game in Call of Duty history with Black Ops 4 and all the free content still happening, we'll also end up seeing dedicated drops that are available for purchase and also as a part of the Black Ops Pass as well. So that way we'll continue seeing updates for free maps like Nuketown, Seaside Sunset, Firing Range Night, and other things like event updates with what we'll see with Absolute Zero and also what we had with Operation First Strike. So you can now start to kind of see that breakaway into not only just the free content that keeps everybody involved, but if you want a little bit more, you can then pay a little extra to get a couple of more maps or a couple of zombies experiences and blackout characters. What's more is that they mentioned there's going to be much more details coming up as of Monday and Tuesday. Now, that easily could just be patch notes, but the way that it was worded was a little more vague and ambiguous, and so therefore I kind of think that maybe there's something also going to be a part of this update. So that leads me to the next question. If these maps are actually a part of that DLC 1 drop and those Black Ops Pass maps that we are promised here as Season Pass holders, when would we likely end up seeing this being added in and for us to be able to take advantage of? Now, admittedly, I was a little skeptical on this as of a week or 2 ago whenever we talked about when DLC 1 might actually drop. I said it was kind of the wild card where it was possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went further on. But I'm starting to feel kind of locked in with what is Tuesday, December 11th for PlayStation 4 users. And then of course that would come out a week later for Xbox One and PC, right before the holidays, and then all players could have so much stuff to take advantage of going into what is a long holiday break for a lot of players. Whether or not you're getting out of school then, or if you're going on break from your job, that's something that will be a fantastic time to be able to grind out, and players that end up getting the game for Christmas might actually be able to take advantage of that DLC then instead of having to drop another $15 or so after they just spent money on it. So from a business perspective and from a playing perspective, it makes a lot of sense. But that said, by all indications, Tuesday is starting to seem more solid. The application updates that went live slightly early on the COD Companion app kind of point to that being something on the very near horizon. The zombies maps in the game are ready for sure, as what we saw by those leaks and in-game screenshots. That's something that already may again point to an update coming in the very near future. There was a multiplayer map in which we have no idea what the name of that is, but there was one added in the same title update as of 3 weeks back that added Seaside Sunset and Firing Range Night in the game files. That wasn't as far along in development, so there still needed to be some texturing and some clipping work done, but definitely it would be possible to finish that up in the time since that update. Again, 3 weeks as of the upcoming Tuesday. So there's definitely time for that to be worked on. Treyarch mentioned that this wasn't all that was going to be happening on Tuesday, and to go a little further, their mention of multiplayer zombies, blackout, and all going down on Tuesday, to me, that kind of extends a little further just past what was detailed in that blog post. So a lot of things are now stacking up, and a lot of them usually only happen when something is about to come out. Plus, again, when thinking about the release dates for these kind of things, it is something we have to be conscious of all platforms involved. While there isn't a month of exclusivity this time around, it's only a week, that still can cause some problems with what our theory time of release is, because if it were to release this Tuesday, that would be the 11th for PlayStation 4, but then on Xbox One and PC, you'd end up also having that release on the 18th. So again, right before the holidays, but if you were to push that back and have it, say, released the week after, PlayStation 4 would theoretically get it in time, but I can't see them dropping a DLC map pack on the holiday of Christmas for those that celebrate it on Xbox One and PC. And again, pushing it back a little further, PlayStation 4 wouldn't launch it on Christmas for that same logic, and then therefore you start to get really far out there. So to me, I think Tuesday actually might hold some more surprises for those that are interested in it compared to what we already know about, which is a ton as is. So it's looking to be a pretty big week for Call of Duty, and I am really curious to see just what happens here with this. The update itself is going to go live on Monday, and therefore we'll have some changes with Blackout and everything like that. We'll have Tuesday being the operation starting. Wednesday is when we'll see a seasonal update in terms of the black market progression. We end up getting some event-specific and holiday-themed items out of that, just like what we saw with the Halloween event, and then a week later after all of that, it will rinse, cycle, and repeat for Xbox One and PC. So So a lot is up on deck, and that said, I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Do you think this was an actual leak and indication that DLC 1 will be happening within Black Ops 4 as of Tuesday, or maybe sometime coming in the near future? Do you think that all these signs do point to that, or is there anything that you might disagree with or have as a counter? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below, but that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, zombies. We got you covered with the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, DLC content like this. If any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those links are down there in the description below. Practically live on both those. If you want to strike up a conversation, whatever it is, links in the description below. Well, that said and out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.